Welcome everyone to a special video. I have mentioned on stream that I am going to be doing this maybe once a month, once every other month. It's a special animal segment. We're going to be doing like a mammal or what we have today, just something different than a fish or a herb. Going to be a little bit special bonus for you guys. Today's is actually a special request by a longtime supporter of the channel called Tavi. She has been asking for this. She is super excited for it. You can see in the chat. Let's go for this. Today's special animal is the feathered starfish. Now, I'm not going to be talking about a specific species. I'm just going to be talking about the feathered starfish as a whole. Now, there are a lot of different, I think there's up to 600 species. They look this, pretty normal. They have this big rolled up one. I think this is called a royal. Don't know. You have them that look like this. This is also a feathered starfish. I mean, you got the world. Yes, it is very cool looking. So feathered starfish is part of the family Crinoidea, which is both feathered starfish and sea lilies. They're actually in the same family. Sea lilies are they're attached at a stalk, whereas feathered starfish they don't have a stalk. They have a stalk early on in their life cycle, but then they break off. They're a little more free moving than the stalk ones, but they are basically the same animal. And make no mistakes, they are animals. They're very closely related to starfish. They're different, but they are closely related to starfish. So as I said, feather stars are not attached, and they are surrounded by these arms. As you can see in every picture, they have a circular arms, and then right in the middle, their mouth is actually on top, right in the middle of this ventral disc. Now, it's important to note that these are not actual feathers. These are pinnules. These things are actively moving. They're floating in the current. We'll get into a little bit about it, but about it further. Now, just like starfish, it is really hard to see, especially when you have something like this, or that, or any of these in here, but because these are all feathered starfish and sea lilies, it's really hard to see. But these all exhibit what is called pentamerous symmetry. So you think about a starfish can be divided into 5 separate but equal segments. A human, most animals can only be divided in half. That is called bilateral symmetry. They can divide it one way into 2 halves. Starfish can be divided into 5 ways, going down the arms, things like that. So a sea lily and a feathered starfish have that same pentamerous symmetry. The issue and why it doesn't look like it is because of these 5 arms, they split. So right up at the top, the arm will be down here and it'll split. It looks like this splits into 3 or 4 right there. So the arms themselves are split into 10 or more. And most of them branch again. And that's how you get some of these crazy ones like this. And some of the species even have up to 200 branches off their arm. It's amazing. Now, these arms are put out in the water column. They gather plankton and other detritus, other food particle in these arms. They catch them. Every one of these sort of small hairs coming off the main branch, they actually have a bunch of other smaller hairs. And those are actively kind of catching onto them. These are actually pretty sticky. They're covered in a mucus layer. And then these little the little hairs will take the food particles, just take it and just kind of pass it on down the line, kind of like a assembly line. And on these arms, there is a groove. And that groove has a bunch of more little hairs, and it's called the cilia. Those really tiny hairs are called cilia. Those cilia carry the food all the way down the arm to the mouth. They don't go very fast, but they carry the food from here. They carry it from out here to the middle, and then down the arm, down the groove, into the mouth. Really interesting. Feathered starfish live anywhere from the shallows to over 9,000 meters deep, which is about 30,000 feet. So you can find these in every layer of the column. It does seem to be that the sea lilies, the stalked versions, they're more towards the bottom, and the feathered starfish are more towards the top, but it's not really a good assumption. It's just one of the things that seems to hold true. Something interesting to note, these do have a water vascular system. So instead of having blood, they actually have a water that is kind of their blood vessels that pushes the nutrients and removes the waste from all their cells. These are dioecious, meaning that you can actually sex these. They're separate males versus females. That's a really out there thing. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I know that you can. There's a world of research out there on how to tell them apart, but not for me. It is also interesting to note that some of these feather stars are free swimming, meaning they actively go up in the water and will swim around. Probably not all the time, but I know that they can freely swim. But most of them actually crawl on cirri, which are these kind of attaching legs. You see right here, they will crawl using these little legs here. And here's another good picture of this. You can actually see that it is moving right there. It just puts the legs forwards and just pulls itself down. But that doesn't mean that the stalked versions, let me go back up to a stock version. That doesn't mean that the stalked versions can't move as well. Before 2005, the highest speed ever recorded for any feathered starfish that was moving on its own was 0.6 meters per hour, which is about 2 foot per hour. So about 2 feet every hour. However, in 2005, there was a recording done by a stalked version of these pulling itself along by its stalk. So it was reaching out with a stalk, grabbing and pulling itself along. And that one was the fastest ever recorded. Don't know if it's just that species or if we just happen to watch them when they move really slow. So now the fastest recorded is somewhere between 144 and 180 meters per hour, or 472 to 591 feet per hour. I know that's a pretty big gap, but when you think about it, previously we thought it was 2 foot an hour or 0.6 meters an hour, and now it's 160 meters per hour, or 500 feet an hour. That's a pretty big gap, and moves a lot faster than me. But yeah, super interesting specimen. Does these count as an animal's bug? Is fit? They are an animal. These are an animal. They are just not a reptile, amphibian, or a fish, or a mammal. They are their own thing. Sea cucumbers, sea urchins, starfish, they're their own things. So, kind of like squid. And squid and octopuses, they are mollusks. They're their own thing. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you do, I would really appreciate it. If you have an interest in these special animal segments, please let me know. And please let me know if you're enjoying the background music in the previous couple of videos. Just something that was suggested to me. Just wanted to try it out. If you have different music, if you would rather have me do like nature sounds in the background, just let me know. But thank you guys so much again. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones,